Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's meeting. Happy homecoming week. If you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, we would like to ask the Royal Queen Presley to lead us this evening. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have one agenda change this evening. We are going to move under action items E, we're going to move the consent agenda to after new business for the executive session. And I am going to offer director and student representative reports if you would like to do those before action items this evening. We will take whoever wants to do their director's report then. Does anyone else have any other changes?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the amended agenda. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Recognition. Tyler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a while back now, but if you remember, we did have just a little situation in the community. We went into a lockout at the schools, working with law enforcement. I was going to give some recognition to the kitchen staff. I ended up keeping all my middle schoolers locked in, and so that meant adjusting some lunch counts on the fly pretty quickly. Thankfully, it was chicken popper day, so life was great. But to just feed 40 extra kids with not much heads up, I really appreciate Tracy and the ladies. And then I sent you guys an email. I think it was today. Hopefully you guys got to see the picture of that. But Dominic and Damian Ankeny are working for Mrs. Davidson in the graphics and vinyl shop. And I just think it's really cool. I mean, we're trying to meet fire marshal restrictions and make sure that we're following rules. But we also want to kind of still have it be our culture and our environment. And you could probably guess some of the teachers just by looking at what they've done for those door coverings. So I thought those were pretty cool and wanted to give those guys a shout out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I got
Mr.
one
Irving.
that's quick. I'd like to thank Presley. So, little backstory, the very first football game this year, home football game, all the kids were sitting on where you sit on the bleachers, like they always do. We all did it. Last spring, we fixed 8 bleachers at just under $6,000 to put in 8 bleachers. So I had a chat with Presley. Since then, I haven't seen any of the kids, so I don't know if she's yelling at them or if she had a talk with them, but I do appreciate her and the rest of the students taking some weight in what we're trying to do and keeping stuff nice. So I do appreciate it.
That's awesome. Congrats to everybody who's taking care of our stuff. Billy.
So I'd like to recognition the kitchen staff once again. I think it was a couple weeks ago I went for hamburger day, and I guess help me with numbers on this, Tyler, but I think there was over 130 middle school kids that ate and over 45, almost 50 high school kids that ate that day. So them are good numbers, and everybody I talked to said it was good and they enjoy it, and I think they were serving up till the last 2 or 3 minutes of lunch. So
Excellent. That's great. Teresa.
So I was gone a month. Thank you. I want to thank Kaylee Harley. She subbed for me. She did an outstanding job. I talked a lot with her during vacation, but she did a really good job. And next week she's going to certified pool operator school. And then we also got a $2,000 donation from the Wyrick family to go toward life jackets. We have needed life jackets for a while, and so I'm grateful for them for that.
Excellent. Thank you to the Wyrick family. Jason.
You alluded to it at the beginning of the meeting, but our prom queen, so homecoming queen, sorry. So, yeah.
All right. And I would just like to say, I spent some time before the community concert Saturday night and after the community concert, showing folks how to use the kiosks. And they were just so tickled that they could look back at one person was the class of 62, I think. We were looking through his yearbook for him, and I just it was really fun to be showing some people how to use that and that they enjoyed it. Presley.
I would like to recognize Jason Beck. He has been nominated and inducted into the Hall of Fame, which I think is very inspiring to a lot of people. I know the high schoolers were really excited to see him up there, and I know the elementary schoolers are ready for candy, so don't forget that at the party.
All right, congratulations, Jason. Anyone else? All right. Visitors' comments. Okay. So, Presley, would you like to give us your report now?
Okay. So it's been pretty busy the past couple of days as homecoming has started. I would like to shout out to the sports as they compete at home this weekend for hopefully a homecoming win. So volleyball will play against Douglas on Friday, and their times have been moved up so that they can go to the football game and support them. And then they'll play again at home on Saturday against Rollins. And then our football team will play at 7 against Glen Rock. The volleyball pink game will also be happening on the 10th of October. So that's exciting for them. I know they've been out in the community working on getting some baskets put together for the silent auction. So that's exciting. Student council had their staff appreciation breakfast this morning. We had a pretty good turnout, so that was really nice and fun to see. Some of our middle school teachers even came up, so that was nice. I would also like to shout out to everybody, not just student council members, but our bribes for the Powder Puff and Powder Buff game was cans this year. And so I don't know everybody who donated, but a big thanks to our parents and all the people in the stands who kind of just kept giving. We took those to the bread office today. They were pretty much in shock. I don't think they really realized what was going to be brought to them. So we are awaiting a wait on how much we donated. FCCLA attended their fall conference today, and FFA members attending nationals are outselling some national raffle tickets. So if you know of anybody who is in need of some of those, or if they stop by, that is a good way to support them to their trip to nationals in November. I think that's all I got.
I don't have anything for you, Madam Chair, but thank you. Unless you guys have something for me.
Sorry, I had my microphone off. Thank you, though, for taking his place that day. All right, you guys, would you like to do yours, Bryce?
Thank you, Madam Chair, but I'll share next week.
Okay,
We'll see you shortly.
okay,
Yeah, I can hold off for now.
okay.
I was thanking Tyler because I didn't realize there was a meeting tonight until I saw his email, being on vacation. So I don't really have anything unless you have questions for me.
I think we're good. Thank you. Would you like to do yours now or later, Brad? Okay, sounds good. All right, and then we'll do our board reports when we're done. All right. Now we have no old business, so under new business, a bid recommendation for the pool liner.
Okay, so we feel that we have hit the point where with the contributions in which we've received from our generous donors, along with some other funds, we have a date where we're going to shut down the pool. I am going to pass around your choices of liners. We are recommending and going with this one because that's as close as the original color And we really don't think this indoors would be very good. And some people think this would be hard to keep clean. And so I'll share those with you. So with that, Madam Chair, I would recommend the bid approval from the Associated Pool Builders, which by the way was the original installer from the get-go, to finish and install the pool liner in both the big pool and the little pool in the amount of $237,700.
Okay, and I would entertain a motion. It's been moved and seconded to approve the bid from Associated Pool Builders to furnish and install the pool liner in both pools. My question, Teresa, do you think blue's best too?
Yeah, I mean,
You're not.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure how dark it is because, darkness could be an issue with guards being able to see.
Yeah,
Um,
the black is pretty bad.
yeah, black for
Blue's
sure, no.
Pretty light.
Blue, I don't know. Is it? I'd say Adam.
Adam,
Thank you, Madam Chair. So under Brad's recommendation, no guys picked the color. Grace and I walked over, Tisdale walked over, put the samples in the water. The blue is actually lighter than the blue that is in there now. That was Associated Pools' concern of it being too dark, but it's lighter than what we already have.
okay,
The white, I think, would be horrible. The black, he pretty much said they will not install black even outside.
yeah. Okay,
But the blue is lighter than what is currently there.
Knowing that, I would recommend blue too. I think it'll make the water look pretty too.
Yeah, make your water look good.
yeah,
And also, just so everyone knows, the liner that's there now is a replacement liner.
Mhm.
You cannot fix Washington DC from within Washington DC. You have to fix it from the outside. It has to be citizen uprising. And the only way you can do it is through an Article 5 convention. There are lots of other ideas that people throw out there that aren't in the Constitution necessarily. This is a peaceful, legal, constitutional method for reining in the federal government, which, like I said earlier, is the responsibility of the states. That's one of their roles, and they've abdicated that responsibility horribly. Our founders would be appalled that we're thinking of solutions other than an Article 5 convention, because that's the process they put in for this purpose.
And also, just so everyone knows, the liner that's there now is a replacement liner.
Mhm.
And at one time, it was considerably darker, but over time with the chemicals and the wear and tear and everything, it too will lighten itself up.
All right. Any other questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you.
Great.
All right, I call this meeting back to order at 9:08. Our next item is the consent agenda. I would like to have a motion to remove item D and table it until the meeting October 8th.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to take out item D from the consent agenda, extra duty recommendation, and vote on that at our next meeting. As for the rest of the consent, oh, I'm sorry. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Now, for the remainder of the consent agenda, A, B, C, E, F, may I have a motion? It's been moved and seconded to approve the remainder of the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Mr. LaCroix, do you have any report? We're on for your information.
No, Madam Chair, I really don't have a report. Just a couple things. I really do think that it would be beneficial, for the board, myself. We are having quite a few, issues around activities and behaviors. Not all those behaviors being very positive. Um, the last month, I've spoke to quite a few parents, of course, coaches and staff members as well. Um, but I do think it would be wise if we could maybe get an article out in the newspaper, sort of a public relations piece, related to policy KBD, and remind people that, we really do want people involved, everybody, all kids, um, not based on your last name. Um, but to do that, I think we have to have a respectful environment where young people know that you're going to go out, you're going to play hard, and sometimes you come out on a happy ending, and sometimes you don't. That's part of being in activities, and that's part of what activities teach you towards life. Um, but right now, I think we have a lot of young people that are being hindered, because they are being subject to being judged by others, and not just your peers, but other parents. And somehow we've got to do a better job of creating a healthier environment for our student athletes and our students that are in activities as well. And so with that, Madam Chair, I would open up to any questions that anyone else would have.
Thank you, Brad. Does anyone have any questions? No? All right. Do we have Sonia and Taylor on there still? Taylor, do you have an HR report you'd like to give us?
Hi, Madam Chair. Thank you. I don't have anything to report on tonight, but if you have questions for me, I'm open to that.
Does anyone have any questions for Taylor? We don't, but thank you and happy homecoming week.
Yes, you as well.
How about Sonia? Sonia, we're here if you hear us, and I'll just ask Jason to do his transportation committee report while we wait. Yeah, she didn't respond.
So, myself, Madam Chair, and, Troy, our transport manager, or whatever we missed the deadline to be actually on the agenda with the commissioners, but during public comment, Madam Chair spoke briefly about, the basic, we addressed the issue of the bus stops in Osage, our concerns, with the current bus stop and the areas that we were looking at for bus stops. We did ask them about the roads and who is responsible. The commissioners did say that the county is absolutely not responsible for anything in Osage. And that it should fall on the, Madam Chair, help me out.
The
Osage
Improvement
Improvement Board
District.
District should be the ones responsible for maintaining those roads, as for whatever monies that they collect should be going towards those roads. Now, with that said, the chairman of the commissioners did say that they do feel that it is an important topic, and they would like to sit with us and try to brainstorm some ideas on some ways to help with some form of bus stop. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. I know Troy was still trying to get with the church to see about the turnaround there. I'm not sure where he's at, with the gentleman that has the sagebrush. And then, so we're, and then the documentation for the release of liability. We're just kind of waiting to hear back from those people. And Um,
And we'll be on the agenda for the.
yeah, I will, tomorrow I will get with, the county clerk and try to get us on the agenda for the follow, their next meeting to discuss bus stop and see what we can come up
Yeah,
with.
we did ask that day to be put on their next agenda.
Yes.
So we were plenty ahead of time. Brad.
Madam Chair, we still have not received the legal description of a lease of a liability. So we're still working on that. I do believe the church has reached out to Mr. Allen and said that that is permissible. And then also last week, I received a call from a patron there that said that he would be more than willing to work with the district for an additional stop if needed up on top. I know the individual. I've known him forever. I do not know where he lives though there. So, and I can't really use a name, but there are some other options that have come back to the district since you met.
Okay, so we're working on that. Anyone have questions for your transportation committee? Nope. Billy, you're gonna have a buildings and grounds meeting next week, right?
Yeah, next Wednesday at 6:30 we'll have a grounds building committee meeting just before the school board meeting. Adam's going to be here and just kind of fill us on what's going on. So
And I have done 2 of the 4 WSBA Zoom meetings on the history of recalibration of school funding model. I learned something new. I did remember that John Hoyt was our territorial governor. I did not know that John Hoyt at the time was considered a worldwide expert on public education. And that's one of the reasons Wyoming's constitution, because he was instrumental in writing that, is so strongly supportive of public education. So it really does go back to the very root of our state's history. So, yep. So, anyway, it's been a very good series they've been putting on, and they're supposed to. I should be able to get the decks to share with you guys if you want to look through it sometimes, because there's some really interesting history, and it really lays out, we really laid out all of the court cases, starting with Sweetwater, and going through Washakie and all the Campbells, up until the most recent ones. Jason.
This may be for Brad. Where are we at, or not we, but where are we at with that lawsuit for
The
this?
state has appealed the results of the lawsuit that was decided, that the decision that came down
Yeah.
in the spring, in February or March, during the legislative
Yeah.
session, that the district court Froelicher. And so the state did decide to appeal that decision. So
Okay,
that's
so
where
it's
it
just
is.
through the appeals. Okay.
Yep. Anyone else?
Madam Chair, just for the board, there are 4 listening sessions. The nearest one is set to be in Sheridan early this month.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a packet, which is a draft packet of the Picus and Auden model. But also probably the biggest concern is our ADM today is 7-Eleven. So not only do we have a recalibration issue, we have an ADM issue.
Yeah.
And even if we could, even if you're favorable in the outcomes of a lawsuit with the loss of the ADM, there's still going to be a considerable amount of less money coming to the district.
And I was invited, I did one professional judgment panel before they started, before Picus, they started the recalibration model. And now they're asking us if we would like to do it now that they have a report. So I did sign up to be on that, and that is in addition to anyone can go to these meetings. So it would be great if someone could go to that charter meeting.
Do we need to report anything on the crisis meeting that we went through?
Sure, I'll tell you what, please go ahead.
Thing on the crisis meeting that we went through?
Sure, I'll tell you what, please go ahead.
I was,
Oh,
I
no,
hope you're
here.
gonna help me
So,
out a little.
yeah, I will. I can help you out. So with our usual scheduled meeting with safety crisis, whatever you would like to call it. So usually the first one of the years is really about radio checks, doors, windows, the routine stuff. However, one of the city officers who was in attendance actually turned it into a pretty decent awareness training on substances. And it was all about how law enforcement looks at people's eyes, and that, the eyes really do tell the story on a lot of different things. So I think that was very helpful with that. And then the other piece, we do have drug dogs. We have all kinds of different dogs. How can they be used? When can they be used? And as you all know, I mean, because for years I had my own kids in the school, they basically have free rein. I mean, we just need to know to go into a lockdown so that, kids aren't in transition and you got the dog running around and kids running around. And so I would say with that, I think we got better informed on the dog usage, the availability. And overall, I was really quite pleased because usually those meetings are pretty quiet. But this one really was quite a training in what I thought was, drug alcohol awareness, not just for students, but for everybody, that's in the surrounding of our facilities. Go ahead.
Do we got the radios working? Because we're having a hard time with PD still, aren't we?
I will tell you, this radio thing has been it's not as fluid as I would like it. I like the idea I go to one channel and everyone hears. So law enforcement have upgraded to a different kind of a radio, which is fine. Ours still work. However, what we have to do on a radio check is we have to go to one channel, which is a bus repeater channel, so everyone can hear it. But then you have to go to the emergency channel because our emergency channel is the only thing that goes through law enforcement. So over a period of time, we have some radios that need updated. And then next week, we are hoping for 100% success in communications with all beings. But we do have to hit the bus repeater before you can go to the emergency channel. And I really don't like that because, for people that do it every day, that's fine. But when you have an incident, those people aren't going to have the radios. And so, you got to really communicate that to get people to understand in a panic, you're going to be at 4, but after 4, you got to get to channel 1 so that now law enforcement knows what we're doing. And then you can always break it. But there is a lot of chatter on the bus repeater with, student stops, weather, and law enforcement doesn't need that kind of feedback. They need the emergency piece, so that's why the channel is separate. But we're working on it.
All right. Anyone have anything else? Did you have any meeting? You, Bosse's?
I did, but I was not able.
Okay. Right. Does any other board member have a report? Future agenda items, we have our extra duty recommendation next time. We'll have an executive session, hopefully to review some documents. And last thing, oh, Sonia, did we ever hear Sonia?
Sonia, are you on?
We probably put.
I'm gonna say, Madam Chair, Sonia Zooms like Brad does.
It's all right. We appreciate her being there. Voting delegate at the School Board Association conference in Casper. Jason, are you volunteering to be the voting delegate?
I would volunteer myself unless somebody else would want to do that, but yes, I don't have an issue doing that. Okay. I just think we just need to make sure to get that agenda ahead of time so
Yeah.
because I don't think last year we really,
There wasn't a lot of
yeah,
controversial stuff.
No,
Yeah,
so,
you're
but I
right.
think
We should go
get
over
that
it.
and then the board can look at it and we can discuss how we feel as a district, what we want to vote on. So
That sounds
You
good.
know,
And
related to that, Madam Chair, if there are resolutions, Golden Bell. Oh, come on, I forgot. There's
now
three.
a bunch, all the awards,
Yeah. Can you remember them?
not all of them.
Anyway, if there are any recommendations for the recipients of those awards, we really need to probably get that done here in the next week or two.
Yeah, because I think
Um,
they're due the last of October.
Yeah, and some of them need, will need like different letters, things of that nature. So, all Wyoming board, there's the new staff award.
There's a star award for people who are not educators, but support education.
Yeah. Or any board resolutions that you want to put forward as well. Yep.
So I will not be here on November 12th. I will be at the International Employee Benefits Foundation Conference
Nice.
in Honolulu.
Okay, first board resolution. We cannot have the health meeting in Honolulu.
I
Cool.
know. I know. It's heartbreaking. But
I will tell you though, that sounds fun. That committee this year, good luck. That's all I can tell you. I mean, have fun, but it's going to be a lot of challenges
oh
on
my
that,
gosh, yeah.
on health coverage in general, the
Yes.
payment of health coverage.
So many
And
changes.
There's a
and-
lot of floating arguments out there.
Yeah, and there's very much there's some things that have been done that we don't know what the ramifications are. So let's say, for example, that I know the parents of a child in Cheyenne who was not able to they were not able to go get her a flu shot because she's 4, but she needs to have it because of a sick family member. The only way she could get a flu shot according to their insurance was if a doctor, so they had to have a doctor's appointment and a doctor's prescription. And so they drove to Colorado and got her flu shot at Safeway. But yeah, so there are unknowns like that insurance companies and insurance carriers, including like the co-op is we're not going to know, well, can we cover that if it's no longer recommended? Do we have to not cover it? Can we just decide to cut? So there's going to be a lot of information out this one.
Madam Chair,
about a lot of tough things.
how far do you guys though go as a committee knowing that there may be a legislative movement to disband what we're doing? That's my biggest concern.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that looks like right now. I mean, we'll see. I think there's so many cities, towns, and counties involved as well that because if they're going to do that to school districts, who knows what they're gonna tell cities, towns, and counties they have to belong to because it's employees and officials insurance. So will they make them do it? Because who knows? But I think the uproar from the people who are satisfied with the way it is should be enough to keep us all where we are at. So did you have a question?
Just gonna say, yeah, with what Kennedy was saying, I think something that districts are really gonna have to start thinking about is the not getting shots or back in the day, what the recommended shots were for children versus,
Vaccinations.
yeah, vaccinations. So I think that's coming, and just for boards and districts, I think it's something we're gonna have to sit down and discuss, you know.
I think it's
'cause-
very confusing for families, you know. you
Absolutely.
think of nurses and practitioners, and there's just so many moving pieces right now. And
People have their personal feelings and medical thoughts that it's, I'm concerned. So.
All right. Anything else? I call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Eastern Weston County Recreation Board is called to order. You have an agenda in front of you. Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, the same sign. Is there any recognitions for the board? Noting one that Teresa said earlier. Yes.
Yeah.
Terry Hart, thank you.
Yes, that one. And
Kaylee.
and just to reiterate our thanks to all the donors who are allowing us to proceed with pool restoration.
Yep.
you agreed on the color.
Yes.
So important.
Any other recognitions? All right, we'll move on to visitors' comments, staff input, or special programs. See none, we'll move on to action items. You have a consent agenda in front of you. Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on consent agenda? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. The consent agenda is approved. I see no old business or new business. I have nothing for your information unless somebody else has something for us. I've got nothing to discuss. Meeting adjourned.